Greetings, everybody. Welcome back to Minecraft. I'm not going to say Tazcraft because we are not on the Tazcraft server right now. We are in my test world, which is kind of slow and laggy for some reason. I might need to do a computer restart real quick. But we're going to ignore that for the moment. I want to show you guys... Oh my god. Please stop doing this game. So we're going to go over how to build this flying TNT duplicating machine, and I want to just say, I just want to shout this out right now. This was originally done by Flowl, and I'm not sure if he got it from someone else. It's kind of what I saw, but there's some changes that I saw in the comments, people claiming that it does not work on 1.15.2. And it does. The whole reason why I have to say that, is because there is something you kind of have to do to get things in the right place and for the duplicator to work. That being said, I'm going to jump right into it. We'll kind of go over the explanation on why it needs to be that way and how it works. Actually, not so much how it works, but it just works. So what we're going to do is let's just toss everything out, and we need to start off with some slime blocks. So I know you guys are going to be mad at me because I don't have all this stuff set up already, but what can you do? That's that's essentially where we're at. What can you do? We're going to need some walls. We're going to need a detector rail. We're going to need a minecart. And we're going to need some other miscellaneous things like observers and sticky pistons and yeah, we need the dead coral. That's the huge one. That's the huge one that's really weird. It doesn't matter what dead coral fan, you just need a dead coral fan, because otherwise the TNT duplicator doesn't duplicate things, which is kind of the point of the TNT duplicator. Imagine that, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to start off by building this pretty far away from the original. There we go. So that seems just about right. There we go. So now that we have a place to start off with, we're going to build a kind of a zigzag, which seems fine. This sticky piston can be right there. Now the reason why I want to put a sticky piston right there is so that we can turn it into the flying machine later. That's not necessary at the moment, but it will be necessary in just a little bit. This is what is absolutely necessary. I also want to take a lever, and this isn't... Again, the lever isn't totally necessary, but I'll show you why we need it, or why I use it in just a second. So we're just going to put a couple fence posts, a couple walls down. I use cobblestone walls. I'm not sure if they can be other types of walls. I haven't tested that, but overall, I don't think it's that important. So we put the detector rail down and the minecart. Now, the whole reason why people have a problem with this is because... Oh, wait a second. Did I do that right? I think I did that right. Yeah, because the TNT is going to sit right there. So what's going to happen is when I get TNT and I place it down into the spot where it's supposed to go, it immediately lights. And that, I believe, is the change, which is why people think that it doesn't work in this update. But if you place it right up front and you flick the lever, all of a sudden the TNT thinks that it isn't being powered, even though, because the rail is always powered because there's a minecart on it. But this block doesn't update because the whole thing moved once. So now that it is all set in place, every time you pull it back, it makes the TNT drop. So that's the mechanic that we got going on. I just realized that was probably a really dumb idea. But mechanics are very much set up correctly. Now what we need to do is we need to place an observer, of course, this way. And we need to place a slime block there and another observer. So now, whenever we put an input here, it's going to push this out, and then it's going to snake its way along. I can't remember which way this goes because technically I don't know how this powers that, if that makes sense, or this powers that. Like that's where I'm lost. I'm thinking that this sends a signal and is picked up by this piston first, which means it's going to be pushed off to this direction. I can't remember. What I can do is I can just do it, and then we can kind of take it from there. I want to take obsidian because, of course, obsidian... Ooh, that's a block of coal. I don't want a block of coal. Oh my god. There we go. I don't know why, but this world loves raining. Alright, so if we have a piece of obsidian and we put something there, it of course powers this, and it just kind of snakes itself along, and it doesn't drop TNT. Now, there is a way to make it drop TNT this way, and I can show you how that works. If you place a cobblestone fence on this side as opposed to this side, it will drop the TNT in that direction. However, it has a tendency to be launched off with the slime blocks for some reason. I'm not quite sure why this happens, but that's how that works. So all you gotta do is you gotta have something come over here and just stop it. And then, so if you have an output being taken from this point, all you have to do is put an input over here, and now it is going to drop TNT all along its course. And let's just place a block down there. And it's done. Now, if you just want to send it back, you just send a redstone pulse. Now, that is easy enough to detect because you can have these detected with observers depending on where it is. So if you wanted to, you could have an observer set up, let's say, this block, and then it'll detect when this minecart or whatever. Actually, I'd put it probably right here so that it can detect when this arrives, because as soon as that arrives, then it will send a signal out and around and just pop it right back there, and you have an infinitely running TNT dropping machine, and you can clear out an entire area like that. So that is how you build it. That is how it I still don't know how it duplicates like that. My guess is, and this is just a guess, so again we went over how everything moves at the same time and how this block doesn't update that it's powered because this rail, again, it says it's powered, but it's thinking that the rail is still here. And it is also thinking that the TNT is still here. Why this coral needs to be here, I'm not quite sure. It has to do with I don't know how dead coral interacts with TNT, which is, I guess, is the crux of the entire thing. But specifically, it's how the walls interact with the dead coral and the TNT. There's a lot of weird things happening in this contraption, and I don't even know how you'd fix it from a design standpoint. Usually, I'm pretty good at realizing how these things work, but this is just an oddity. I'm not gonna lie. But that being said, all you need to do is send a redstone signal to either front of these, and it will infinitely run. So thank you guys so much for watching, and hopefully that is helpful. I know that it wasn't exactly the most intuitive thing. I do like how easy it is to make these flying machines, and the fact that you can just fit them on basically anything, especially something that duplicates TNT for you, is fantastic. So hopefully that helps. I was going to kind of keep this to myself because I like being able to clear out giant areas. However, there are a couple things that need to come into play. I was going to do this for my witch farm, so I could clear out the entire area. And then I realized, well, if I make it a private witch farm, it's only one witch farm. Every other place that I went to in Tazcraft ended up not spawning one of the witch huts that was supposed to spawn. So instead of that, we're just going to do a single witch hut, and a single witch hut doesn't need everything exploded around it. So that's that. I hope you guys found that interesting. Hopefully it's helpful in your worlds. But yeah, it's actually super simple to get through. I have the supplies, and if you want to see this, if you want to see these things take to the skies and destroy everything, let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, take it easy.